As you know, Demon Souls and the PlayStation 5 are launching together on November 12th. I don't have the luxury of an early access PS5, but I do know Demon Souls, and from interviews Bluepoint has given about the state of the remake, they intend to stay as close to the original as possible, even going so far as to create a PlayStation 3 filter if you don't like their contrasty lighting and saturated colors. Since the remake isn't out yet, all footage you're about to see will be of the original game emulated on PC at 4K 60. I'm basically trying to predict the future here, but I won't suggest anything that I suspect could be changed, and I'm not planning to recommend any glitches or exploits that we currently know of, since Bluepoint will definitely have those patched. The remake will certainly have its fair share of glitches, I just don't know what they'll be yet, and you can be sure that I'll cover them when I do. If you've never played Demon Souls, or this is going to be your first Souls game ever, this video is for you. First thing first, your character's starting class. Royalty is objectively the best choice in most cases, and makes Boletaria 1 the easiest to complete by far. It starts with the Silver Coronet and Silver Catalyst, both of which increase maximum MP, as well as the Fragrant Ring, which passively regenerates MP over time. And like the Magician class, Royalty starts with Soul Arrow memorized. So although it's true that the Magician will deal slightly more damage with Soul Arrow at first, Royalty can never run out of casts. Royalty is also the only class to start at Soul Level 1, meaning subsequent levels are cheaper for this class than anyone else. After you make your choice, you'll be given the option of playing through the tutorial. If you decide to do it, you'll pick up a few extra souls, healing items, and be given the opportunity to fight the Vanguard at the end. While this boss is intended to kill most players, it is not a scripted death. If you manage to kill it, you'll be taken to an additional area with 3 shards of Hardstone and 3 shards of Sharpstone. If you keep going forward, you'll trigger a cutscene with the Dragon God that is a scripted death, so in the end, you'll be taken to the Nexus and be in soul form either way. At this point, the only Archstone that's open to you is the first one, that leads to Boletaria 1. But if you defeated the Vanguard in the tutorial, you can take the shards to Boldwin the Blacksmith and upgrade your starting weapon to +1 before you even enter Boletaria. After you touch the Archstone and load in, go straight ahead and hug the left wall. There's a locked door behind one of the enemy mobs that leads to a hidden area where the hostile NPC Executioner Meralda can be found, as well as the Brushwood armor set, which is the highest defensive armor in the game. This gate will open automatically at Pure White or Pure Black world tendency, so as you progress further in the game, come back and check this gate often. Pure White is obtained by killing bosses from the specific area, and Pure Black is obtained by repeatedly dying in body form within the specific area. Pure Black is faster to obtain than Pure White, but it requires you to waste a lot of ephemeral eye stones restoring your body, and will make the enemies harder, so I would recommend you try for Pure White first, unless you really know what you're doing. You won't be able to get through the lock gate right away, so keep going through the stage as normal. Once you make it to the rolling boulder trap, climb to the top of the stairs and keep going straight ahead, past the Blue Eye Knight. This will take you to a spiral staircase that leads back down to a shortcut near the beginning of the stage. There are no bonfires scattered about in Demon Souls, so shortcuts are even more important in this game than they are in Dark Souls. On your way down, make sure not to miss this wooden balcony with 2 chains anchored to the wall. Each of these can be broken by attacking them, and will drop some important items down into the ground below. Keep going down and pull the lever at the bottom to open the shortcut. Inside the gate is the Cling Ring, which is probably the most important single piece of equipment in the game. It lets you keep 25% more maximum health while in soul form, which means that you won't need to risk being in body form as often, which in turn helps you keep better control over the color of your world tendency. Just outside the gate, pick up the items that drop from the chains. The old Ragged set, worn by Yuria the Witch, who you will meet much later, and the Jade Hair Ornament, a very important item with a not so obvious use that I'll go into later. Back up the stairs, go through the fog gate that the Blue Eye Knight was guarding. You can immediately see Ostrava standing on the platform below, and if you push up against this wall, your character will vault over it just like the wooden fence in the tutorial. Don't miss the Thieves Ring in the corner of this platform. It reduces enemy aggro range, and is particularly helpful in the Shrine of Storms for avoiding attacks from the flying manta rays in the sky, so hold on to it for now. Ostrava will tell you that he needs help defeating the Dreglings down below, but you can just unequip your weapon and give him some let's call it encouragement, if you prefer. Once the Dreglings are dead, either by you or him, he'll give you the Brass Telescope, this game's means of entering first-person view. The stage is pretty straightforward from here on out. There aren't a lot more valuable items from this point on, other than the Ring of Great Strength, which lets you equip heavier gear, and the Purple Flame Shield, which has great fire resistance. But both of these are found in the Dragon's Nest to the left of the Great Bridge. The Fire Breath here can easily one-shot you and send you all the way back to the beginning of the stage, so I wouldn't recommend going for these right now. Come back with Pure White World Tendency, and the nest will be abandoned, which makes collecting this loot risk-free. The second shortcut of the area is just up ahead, past the Red Dragon on the bridge. Pull the lever here to open the door to the boss, and continue on ahead down the spiral stairs to open the second and final shortcut in this area. The boss fog is now on the right. The Phalanx is a huge black slime demon guarded by shielded minions. The more minions that touch it, the more it heals over time, so taking them out is mandatory. I don't think you'll have any trouble with this thing, but if you do, try using fire bombs, turpentine, or even soul arrow. Its fire and magic defenses are particularly low. Once the Phalanx is defeated, you can return to the Nexus, where all of the other Archstones will be unlocked, and both Miracle and Sorcery Tutors will have arrived. The Maiden in Black will ask you to go talk to the Monumental at the top of the stairs. While you're up there, check the landing just below the Monumental for a hidden Ephemeral Eye Stone. This puts you back into body form and restores your maximum health to 100%, so you can never have too many of these. On your way back down, you can drop from the spiral staircases on both sides to fall onto hidden platforms with items. One has a renowned soldier's soul, and the other has 2 sets of New Moon Grass, the best healing item in the game. I know people who have completely finished Demon Souls and never knew these items were there. Finally, return to the Maiden in Black to have her give you the necessary items for multiplayer and unlock leveling up. Now, as for the Jade Hair Ornament, one of the things that makes Demon Souls different from the other Souls games, for better or worse, is that it not only has equipment burden, but also item burden. The equipment burden is the weight of your weapons and armor, and is the only determining factor in calculating roll speed. Item burden, on the other hand, determines how much you can carry in your pockets, and is based on the weight of the items, not a specific quantity limit. That means that you can probably carry as many firebombs or arrows as you want, but picking up even a single heavy armor set means that your pockets will be full and you won't be able to pick up anything else, period. Bluepoint has already confirmed this mechanic will be returning in the remake, and even said that higher level healing items will even weigh more than they do in the original game. So item burden sounds like it's going to continue being a major factor in decision making. Enter Stockpile Thomas. This guy is front and center in the Nexus, and is basically a bank. He will hold any weapons, armor, consumables, or any other gear that you might come across, and keep it safe until you come back to him to claim it. You're going to be visiting him a lot to keep your pockets empty, and the Jade Hair Ornament is part of his questline. First, talk to him over and over until you've exhausted all his dialogue, then leave, and return to him to talk once more. He will mention the hair ornament on his own, saying that it was once his daughter's, and ask if he can have it. If you give it to him, he will reward you with the Ring of Herculean Strength, which increases your maximum item burden. In other words, wearing it lets you cram more gear into your pockets. From here, all of Demon Souls is open to you, and you can complete the 5 stages in any order that you wish. But before I go any further, because I know that all the Demon Souls vets in the comments are going to mention it, let me show you how to get a decent starting weapon, the Crescent Falchion. First, enter the Shrine of Storms by touching the second Archstone from the right, and make sure to wear the Thieves' Ring from Boletaria 1 to avoid the spear attacks from the flying mana rays in the sky. The main enemies of this stage are rolling skeletons, which are particularly hard for new players because they're fast as hell, and since Demon Souls has no poise mechanic, every hit is going to interrupt your attack animation. But these guys are skeletons, meaning they're weak to blunt damage, and no matter which starting class you chose, you do have a great fast-hitting blunt weapon at your disposal. Your bare fists. I'm dead serious. These are early game enemies, so they don't have a ton of health, and I guarantee that unless you have a mace or some other type of hammer already, fighting them with your fists is going to be the way to go. Work your way up the stairs and to the Fog Gate. To the right, you can pick up a talisman, which allows you to cast miracles. Just look out for the skeleton archers up above. If you want to get some early use out of it, you can purchase Heal from the Cleric in the Nexus for 5,000 souls, as long as you have at least 10 faith, which can be a big help in preserving your healing items, since this game doesn't use Estus. Next, pass through the large fog gate at the top of these stairs. There's a hidden path to the left within the wall itself that leads to the sword we're after, but there's a booby-trapped tile halfway in. It will shoot arrows at you from straight ahead, which you can block with your shield, or you can simply turn sideways and have them safely pass by. The falchion is on a corpse straight ahead, behind a dual katana black skeleton. This thing will absolutely one-shot you, so just roll by it and don't try to kill it yet. Pick up the sword and get out of there. The Crescent Falchion is notable because it's one of the earliest weapons you can get in Demon Souls that deals magic damage. A lot of enemies in this game have low magic defense, and this weapon will likely outperform anything else you have until you start refining your build and upgrading weapons that scale with your primary stats. It's particularly effective against the miners in Stonefang Tunnel, so you might try going there next. Before we completely leave the shrine, I thought I'd mention this. From back inside the booby trap tunnel, you can take the stairs up to the top of the wall itself and kill the skeleton archers. At the opposite end of the wall, there are stairs that lead down to the Copper Key, used to rescue the merchant grave robber Blige a bit later on. But there is another booby trap tile at the bottom, so be careful. In the original Demon Souls release, there's an exploit you can do at the top of these stairs, where a well-timed roll will let you clip onto the edge of the wall itself and allow you to drop down to a much later part of the stage. I suspect Bluepoint will patch this out, but try it out for yourself. Once you drop down from this wall, you can pick up the Regenerator's Ring, which gives you passive HP regeneration over time. This is a big help in cutting down on your healing grass use, and truthfully, alongside the Cling Ring, I usually keep the Regenerator's Ring equipped for my entire playthrough. If the exploit does turn out to be patched in the remake, you can still get the Regenerator's Ring by fully exploring the area as intended. But regardless of how you get to this point, the boss of the area is just a few rooms over, behind another black skeleton. The Adjudicator is a bit of a gimmick fight, but that makes it one of the easier bosses to take on at a low level. You'll start out at the top of the boss room and need to work your way down to the bottom as quickly as possible. The Adjudicator has a long tongue that he uses to attack with at range, and a slow meat cleaver that he uses to attack in close quarters. He is immune to all damage except that inflicted on his head, but there is a weak spot on the right side of his stomach, where a blade is broken off inside him. By attacking that wound, you can make him collapse and make his head reachable in melee range. Alternatively, you can snipe at his head with Soul Arrow from the top of the room. Just look out for the tongue attack. Killing the Adjudicator unlocks another teleport location back to the Nexus, and grants access to the Shrine of Storms 2, through the door straight ahead. What's notable about the second stage of the shrine is that there's a Reaper enemy in the cave just past the teleport location. The Reaper summons hostile ghosts, attacks with Soul Ray from afar, and a scythe when up close. He has high magic defense, which means the Crescent Falchion isn't a great weapon to use against him, but he drops the materials necessary to upgrade it, and grants around 5,000 souls on death. It's so quick to kill this Reaper and return to the Nexus via the Adjudicator's teleport stone that this remains the most efficient loop for farming souls throughout the entirety of Demon Souls until you unlock the final stage of Boletaria. The sooner you can access this farmable Reaper, the more souls you'll have to work with. With that, I'll leave you to explore the game for yourself. Continuing on with Boletaria will put you face to face with the Red Dragon once again, and then the Tower Knight at the end. After that, you'll have to kill one of the final bosses of another area in order to proceed. Stonefang Tunnel will give you access to Ed, an upgraded blacksmith, who forges weapons from boss souls. As for other items, you'll find the Dragon Longsword, a weapon that deals fire damage out of the box, and the Dragon Bone Smasher, a fan favorite strength weapon. The Tower of Latria holds Sage Frake, the upgraded sorcery tutor, who crafts spells from boss souls. It holds the Mercury Rapier, a weapon that can poison foes out of the box, and the Phosphorescent Pole, the weapon with the best MP regeneration in the game. The Shrine of Storms keeps Saint Urbane, the upgraded Faith Tutor, who crafts miracles from boss souls, and the magic sword Makoto, a katana that damages the wielder over time, but has a very high physical attack. And finally, the Valley of Defilement contains the Blessed Mace, a blunt weapon that heals its wielder, and the large Sword of Moonlight, which needs no introduction, and in this game, it scales with faith, not intelligence. I hope that helps you set the next goal you plan to go for. Like I said, I think Bluepoint is going to have the glitches from the original game patched out, but I'll link my video on glitches in the original from a few years ago down below anyway. Hope this video has been a pleasure, and good luck staying alive.